The head of Claude Code says he doesn't write prompts anymore. He writes loops that prompt the AI for him. In June 2026, 6 words about this got 6.5 million views. Stop prompting your agents. Design loops. And the stakes are real. Get this right, and an agent fixes its own bugs while you sleep. Get it wrong, and it spins forever, quietly turning your cloud bill into a small fortune. So what's actually inside one of these loops? Why did the best developers alive stop prompting? And what's the one mistake that makes it burn money? Let's open it up. Here's what most people miss about AI. A normal call to a model is one shot. You ask, it answers, it stops. It never finds out if it was right. An agent does something different. It wraps that exact same model inside a loop, so instead of answering once, it can act, look at what came back, and try again. That one change, a straight line into a circle, is the whole story. And here's the part that feels almost like cheating. Every turn of the loop has just 3 moves. Think, the model decides what to do next. Act, it actually does it, runs code, searches, edits a file. Observe. Whatever came back, the answer, or the error, gets handed straight back to the model. That word matters. Observe doesn't mean the model admiring its work. It's the raw result. Maybe the code ran, maybe it crashed. The model reads that, thinks again with new information, and goes around. That's why an agent can catch its own mistakes. A one-shot call can't see the error. A loop can. So how do you teach a model to actually use a loop? The first unlock, stop making it only think or only act. Make it do both in turns. Think a little, do a little, look, think again. Sounds too simple to matter. But with just 1 or 2 examples, that beat methods that had been trained for the job by 34 points. Let it reason and act in the same breath, and it gets dramatically better at real tasks. The second unlock, memory. Now when the agent fails, it writes itself a note. That didn't work, I skipped the edge case, saves it, and reads it back on the next try. No retraining, no bigger model. The exact same model, just allowed to fail, learn the lesson, and go again. And not alone beat the best score anyone had, 80% up to 91. The agent didn't get smarter, it got a memory. The third unlock, and this one's wild. Instead of 1 line of reasoning, the agent fans out a whole tree of them, try a few next moves, score them, chase the good ones, back out of the dead ends. Like a chess player reading 3 moves ahead. On one number puzzle, normal reasoning scored 4%, the tree, 74, but here's the catch they don't put on the slide, that tree is a search. It can fire off dozens of extra calls, sometimes 100 times the compute. The answer's in there. You just pay through the nose to find it. So here's where the real engineering lives. A loop is only as good as how it stops. The best loops check the work against something concrete and binary. Do the tests pass? Does it compile? Is the lint clean? If yes, stop. If no, the failure feeds back, and it goes again. And one rule separates a good loop from a disaster. The thing that checks the work cannot be the thing that did the work. Models are far too generous grading their own homework. Researchers have shown a model correcting itself with no outside signal often doesn't help, and can make things worse. You need an independent referee. A test suite is a perfect referee. If that one rule just changed how you see these agents, that's exactly what this channel is for. Stick around. Because get that stop condition wrong, and you get what people are half-jokingly calling loopmaxxing. The fantasy that if you just let the agent loop forever, it'll eventually stumble into the answer. It won't. Give it a fuzzy goal, like make this page nicer. With no finish line, it can actually check, and it loops and quietly turns your cloud bill into that small fortune we talked about with nothing to show for it. The fix isn't a smarter loop. It's a clear finish line, a hard cap on tries, and a circuit breaker that pulls the plug. Which brings us back to the hype. Is loop engineering a revolution? Let's be honest. The name is only a few weeks old, and even the people championing it will tell you they're a little skeptical. Because underneath, this is a control loop, an idea engineers have used for decades, now wrapped around a language model. So what actually changed, where you stand? You used to be inside the loop, typing a prompt, reading the reply, typing the next one. Now you step outside and you write the loop, and the model becomes a part your code calls whenever it needs it. Prompt engineering didn't die. It grew a loop around it. So that's the whole machine. Think, act, observe. A memory, so it learns from its own mistakes. A separate referee, so it knows when to stop. That little circle is the engine inside every AI coding agent you've heard of, Claude Code, all of them. The model was always smart, we just stopped asking it once and started letting it loop. If this is the first time agents actually clicked for you, that's the whole point of this channel. Subscribe and you'll stop seeing AI as magic. Then tell me, which loop should I break open next?